All right, so I've owned this for about 2 months now, and there's some things that I like about it, and then there's some things that I do not like about it, which is very few. So let's go ahead and talk about those right now. Bolo! Before we get started, if you guys need some equipment for your studio, go ahead and click my link in the description and head over to Zounds.com. Zounds has a whole bunch of stuff on the site that requires no credit or background check. Now, it's not everything on the site, but it is a whole bunch of stuff on the site that you can get with no credit or background check, meaning you can just order it, they'll ship it to you, and then you can pay it off making monthly installments. All they need is a credit or a debit card linked to the account so they can take the payments out monthly. So if you guys need anything for your studio, make sure you guys go ahead and click that link in the description and head over to Zounds.com right now. Also, if you need a dope case for your SP-404, make sure you guys go ahead and check out my people over at Analog Cases. They have cases for just about everything that you could possibly need inside your studio, and they have a special case that fits the SP-404 perfectly. So all you have to do is click that link in my video description, go over to their site, search the SP-404, and the case will pop up, and that way you can get you a case to protect your SP-404. So make sure you guys go ahead and click that link in the description right now and get you your SP-404 case and get you some other cases if you need it. And by clicking that link in the description, you'll save 10% at the checkout. So go ahead and get your case right now. All right, so let's just jump right into it and let's talk about the good stuff. Number one, it is hardware. So it is no licenses involved. Okay, so the good thing about that is you own it, you can physically touch it, you can play with it, and it has nothing to do with buying a license for it, which that's what I like about hardware. It is yours. It is physically yours. It is a tangible product that is yours that you can make beats on as long as the unit works. And that's why I typically try to get hardware pieces, because you never know with some of these companies. They might pull some stuff on you sometimes, kind of like, I don't know, have it. But when you actually own this unit, the only thing that you have to worry about is just updates. And if you like the update you're on, you don't have to update it. You can just leave it the way it is. But pretty much that's about it. It's just updates and it's hardware. It's not going anywhere. Another thing I like about this unit is that it accepts MP3 samples, okay? I have a whole sample library that is nothing but MP3s. They sound good. Most of my MP3s are 320 kilobytes per second, or I think I got a few of them that's like 192 kilobytes per second. But that's typically kind of like CD quality, and everything sounds great, okay? I love that this unit does that. A lot of units, kind of like, the machine, does not do that. And this unit does it, and I am very happy that it does, because it's 2024. Everything should be able to accept MP3s. Now, the sound. The sound of this unit is phenomenal. For this thing to be a sub $500 machine, this thing sounds very good. Now, you guys know I'm an MPC type of a guy. I like to have a good sound. And this thing right here sounds very good. I don't know what Roland did, but they did their thing, because my drums sound very good coming out of here. My samples sound good. They did a great job getting this thing sounding very good. So with this, we don't have to talk about the C word. The effects on here are phenomenal. This thing comes with so many effects on here. And I see why a lot of people, especially people who have MPCs, like to run their machines through this, because with the real-time effects on here is crazy, okay? It has every type of effect you can think about on here. And inside of here, when you're making your beats, you can actually bust your stuff to these effects on here. And man, it sounds really, really, really good. So they did a very good job with adding good quality effects in this unit. Now, surprisingly, what I really like is the sampler in here, because you can actually do a lot with the sampler in here, and it is very easy to use. Now, is it a different workflow from what I do with my MPC? Yes, but once I got the workflow, it's very easy and it's very intuitive, even though you don't have like a touchscreen or nothing like that. Now, I have a machine, you guys know that's not touchscreen at all, but this one right here seems a tad bit easier when it comes to sampling, because all you simply have to do is either sample it in there or import it in there. You press one button, you get to the sampler, and then you can chop things up and do everything that you need to do. And it is super easy to do it. So at first I was a little iffy about the sampler, but more and more that I use it, I really like the sampler inside of this unit. And even though there's a whole bunch of other things I like about this, the last thing that I really like is the looper mode on here. Now, if you have like any instruments, whatever, and you want to loop in certain sounds, or if you just want to sample in certain sounds, it is very easy to do it in the looper mode because you can actually build instruments that way. A lot of times what I do now is if I like a certain sound, I will play a certain sound in the key of C, and then I'll wait for it to loop back, and then I'll go ahead and maybe sometimes play like another sound on top of that that's a little bit different, and I just created my own sound, and then I can create that into a one shot, and then from there I can make my own sound from that by putting this in chromatic mode. Now the looper mode makes this very easy. I just did a video on this with the new updates of the SP-404. So if you guys want to go ahead and check that out, go ahead and check out my latest video about the SP-404 and the looper mode, because you can do a lot inside of that looper mode, and you don't really have to even use the older sampler mode, which is cool because they actually added that to where you can preset your measures and stuff like that. But you can get a lot done inside that looper mode, and I'm kind of glad that they added the looper mode from the SP-555 inside of the SP-404. It makes things a little bit more easier for me. I don't know about y'all, but for me, it's actually pretty cool. All right, so let's talk about some of the things that I'm not really feeling. Number one, this thing is a SP-404. I get it. I understand what it is, okay? But to be able to not have your sounds on like individual tracks is, I don't know, I'm not really feeling that. But, you know, it's not a terrible thing because I know what I'm using, okay? It's the SP-404, okay? It's just like using the koala sampler. When you make things, it's pretty much grouped up into one pattern. So it's not necessarily like track A has this sound, track B has this sound, track 3 has this sound, track 4 or whatever has this sound. It's just the sounds exist inside of that pattern, which is cool. But you know, just a wish list. Maybe they might have it to where you can separate things and, you know, you can have everything dedicated on its own track in its own pattern. Maybe. Another thing is the kind of song mode that they have on here where you can take all of your patterns and put it in a song mode. It's kind of cool to be, you know, to kind of set this thing up and have it in a song mode, but it almost makes no sense to be able to have it in a song mode, and then as soon as you cut the unit off, the song mode disappears. So you have to go back in there and redo the whole song mode again if you cut the unit off. I don't really understand that. But it's cool that you do have the song mode, but for it not to be able to save with the actual project that you're using, I don't know, that just kind of confuses me a little bit. Another thing is adding effects to individual sounds. Now, I know you can bus your various sounds to an effect or whatever, but you cannot add a specific effect to your sounds. I don't understand that. I think we should be able to have that to where if you have a sound saved to a pad, that way you should be able to use that one effect to that individual pad rather than taking pretty much a bank and then taking the whole bank and adding that whole bank to an effect. I don't know. You know, maybe it could be me. I could just be tripping. But I think you should be able to route individual effects to a particular sound. Just me. And there's a few more things that I personally think needs to be tweaked a little bit. But this one right here, is one for the ages. Exporting out of here. Now, if you're exporting a track out of here using the software that comes with it, that's cool, okay? You can export everything out. You can export it, you know, directly to your DAW. No problems with the software because I actually kind of like that they had the software with it. But if you make a song in here and you're trying to export this out, there is no just quick export and the song is done, save to your SD card or whatever, and you can put it on your DAW. Can't do that. You would have to use the pattern multi-sample, and in that way, it'll go ahead and stem out your pattern to where all your sounds are stemmed out, which is cool, but it's not the whole song. You can just do that per pattern, and you could build songs that way if you're doing everything internally. Now, I feel that if you're in the song mode to where you take all your patterns and you're in the song mode, it should be just as easy as maybe holding shift and holding another button, and you can just export everything out together as one long audio sample, rather than you having to resample the whole song inside of the SP and saving the resample of it to a pad. Then you can pull it from there. I don't understand why they make it things so difficult, but it is the SP-404. It is what it is. You know what you're using. But I think that they should have a song mode export so we could just easily make our songs, put them into that song mode, and then actually export it from there. Now, I'm not saying that you need to have it to where you can export everything as in stems, which that would be cool to export in song mode and have all the stems broken down in song mode. But at least for right now, we should be able to export our whole projects just by basically a click of a button, just having an export button, and boom, it's done. What y'all guys think? Am I tripping or not? So yeah, the SP-404, a lot of great things about it that I actually like. And there's a few things that I do not like. But you guys tell me in the comment sections what's some of the things you like about the SP-404, and tell me some things that you do not like about the SP-404. And one thing that I always say is, if you guys think I'm tripping about something, let me know in the comment section so I can be corrected. But either way, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys learned something from it. And like I always say, peace out.